This is not just money, it is a bold bet on Africa's future. Japan is pledging $5.5 billion in loans and projects across the continent, targeting infrastructure, technology, and education. But will this gamble really transform millions of lives? Or is it a strategic move in a global game of influence? Chapter 1. Japan's $5.5 billion commitment. At the Tokyo International Conference on African Development, Japan announced a massive $5.5 billion package aimed at shaping Africa's future. Coordinated with the African Development Bank, the funds target sustainable infrastructure, technology, and programs that help manage debt while supporting economic growth across the continent. For everyday Africans, this could be a transformative experience. Roads that once became impassable during rainy seasons could finally be upgraded. Hospitals could receive modern equipment, and schools could be outfitted with better learning tools. Small businesses can gain access to affordable financing, which helps local economies expand and creates new jobs. Will this money reach those who need it most, or will it get caught up in bureaucracy? Japan emphasizes working closely with African governments and local partners to ensure the funds have a real, tangible impact. This commitment also sends a strong message. Africa is a continent worth investing in. For decades, it was often overlooked or seen only as a source of resources. Now, Tokyo is betting that Africa's potential is worth a long-term partnership. Chapter 2. The Indian Ocean-Africa Economic Zone. One of the most exciting parts of Japan's plan is the proposal for an Indian Ocean-Africa Economic Zone. Think of linking ports, shipping lanes, and transport corridors across the Indian Ocean to Africa's key economic hubs. This isn't just about building infrastructure. It's about connecting markets, streamlining trade, and creating a network that allows African economies to grow faster and more efficiently. For the average citizen, this could mean goods arrive faster at local markets and at lower prices. Farmers in East Africa could export crops without worrying about delays at congested ports. Traders could tap into regional networks that were previously inaccessible, increasing their profits and improving local economies. Tokyo's approach is clearly long-term. By investing in connectivity, Japan hopes to establish itself as a reliable partner for African nations. It's also a smart move geopolitically. Like other major powers, particularly China, that expand their influence in Africa, Japan wants to be part of the conversation and the solutions, without simply competing on the same terms. But how will countries manage such a large-scale project? And who decides which regions benefit first? Balancing national interests with regional cooperation is tricky. However, if successful, this economic zone could become one of the most transformative trade networks in modern African history. Chapter 3. AI Training and Technology Hubs. Japan is not just focusing on physical infrastructure, it's also investing in Africa's technological future. Over the next 3 years, 30,000 African professionals will receive training in artificial intelligence. These programs are meant to create high-tech jobs, boost digital literacy, and prepare Africa for a future where technology drives key sectors like healthcare, agriculture, and education. For instance, AI could help farmers predict weather patterns and optimize crop yields. In healthcare, AI could improve diagnostics and treatment planning. Technology hubs in cities like Nairobi, Lagos, and Kigali could become innovation centers, encouraging startups and local entrepreneurship. This initiative provides young Africans a unique opportunity, world-class skills without leaving the continent. Yet challenges remain. Training alone isn't enough. There must also be opportunities to apply these skills, find meaningful employment, and grow sustainable tech ecosystems. If executed well, this could usher in a new era of digital innovation across Africa. Chapter 4. Mega Infrastructure Projects. The $5.5 billion investment also covers large-scale infrastructure projects, railways, highways, ports, and energy plants. These developments aim to improve transport networks, facilitate trade, and provide reliable electricity, foundational elements for economic growth. For communities, the impact is profound. Students in rural areas could finally study at night thanks to stable electricity. Farmers could transport crops to cities in hours rather than days, reducing spoilage and increasing income. Traders could move goods efficiently, lowering costs and boosting local economies. Infrastructure projects also create jobs during construction while improving long-term business opportunities. Communities that were previously isolated suddenly gain access to larger markets and essential services. These tangible improvements can change daily life in ways that ripple through generations. Japan's approach emphasizes both national and local impact, ensuring that mega projects are not just symbolic but provide real benefits for the people who live near them. Chapter 5. Strategic Timing and Global Competition. Japan's commitment comes at a critical time in global geopolitics. China has expanded its influence in Africa through loans and infrastructure projects, while U.S. engagement in the region has been perceived as limited. By stepping in now with a large, visible package, Japan positions itself as a reliable partner for African nations seeking alternatives to existing international dependencies. African countries stand to benefit from having more options. They can negotiate better deals, leverage multiple partnerships, and prioritize projects that align with their development goals. But who will benefit most from these investments? Governments, corporations, or citizens? The success of this strategy will hinge on transparency, careful planning, and collaboration between local authorities, international investors, and communities. This moment also highlights Africa's growing influence on global affairs. Japan's $5.5 billion pledge acknowledges the continent's potential and demonstrates the value of long-term partnerships that focus on sustainable growth rather than short-term gains. Execution is critical. Done well, these projects could reshape African economies for decades to come. Done poorly, the pledge risks being another headline without lasting impact. Chapter 6. Impact on people and communities. This initiative is not just about high-level agreements and international headlines, it's about real people. Across Africa, communities could see improvements in transportation, energy access, digital skills, and job opportunities. New roads and railways can connect rural areas to cities, making it easier for farmers to sell crops, for traders to access markets, and for students to reach schools. Energy projects could provide reliable electricity, powering homes, clinics, and schools. For many families, this means children can study at night, clinics can run essential equipment, and small businesses can operate efficiently. Meanwhile, the AI and technology training programs aim to equip thousands of young Africans with digital skills, preparing them for careers in tech, healthcare, and innovative startups. Will these benefits reach ordinary citizens, or will the money mostly support government agendas and corporate interests? This is a critical challenge for any large-scale development project. Effective implementation will require accountability, local engagement, and oversight to ensure that communities feel the tangible impact of this investment. If done well, it could transform lives. If not, it risks becoming another headline without real-world results. Chapter 7. Collaboration with African leaders. The TICAD 9 Summit in Yokohama brought together leaders from nearly 50 African nations. This was more than a meeting. It was a platform for dialogue, negotiation, and partnership. Discussions centered on the economy, climate action, education, and peace, highlighting the priorities that matter most to Africa's people. Japan's approach emphasizes collaboration rather than unilateral action. By involving African leaders in decision-making, the projects are more likely to reflect local needs and priorities. For example, infrastructure investments can be tailored to serve regions that are currently underserved, and technology programs can focus on areas where youth employment is most needed. This summit also underscored Africa's growing voice in global affairs. African nations are no longer just recipients of foreign aid. They are active partners shaping the terms of engagement. By working together with Japan, they aim to ensure that development is sustainable, inclusive, and benefits citizens rather than serving only strategic or economic interests abroad. Chapter 8. Challenges and opportunities ahead. Even with a $5.5 billion pledge, turning plans into reality is far from simple. Implementing large-scale infrastructure, energy, and technology projects requires strong governance, transparency, and close coordination between governments, local authorities, and private investors. Logistical hurdles are significant. Transporting materials, managing construction across vast distances, and integrating new energy or digital systems into existing networks is complex. Political challenges also exist. Projects must navigate varying regulations, policy changes, and competing interests within and between countries. Financially, funds must be carefully allocated to avoid mismanagement or delays. But the opportunities are enormous. If executed effectively, these projects could create jobs, boost economic activity, improve living standards, and empower communities with skills and resources for the future. The ripple effects could be felt for decades, strengthening Africa's role in global trade and innovation. Large-scale development is always a balancing act between potential and risk. Japan's investment represents a bold bet on Africa's future, but success will depend on collaboration, accountability, and persistent effort to ensure that the money translates into real, lasting benefits for the people who need it most. If you find this video insightful, don't forget to hit the like button. What part of Japan's plan do you think will have the biggest impact? Comment below and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss updates on Africa's latest developments and global partnerships.